Wow.
And in 1989, oh, sorry. It's okay. No, it's fine. You can go that way. That's fine. In 1989, what happened? Earthquake. So I had just stepped out. I was the sales director at the time. I had just stepped outside into this parking lot, and all of a sudden I could hear the sound of this building, the 3-story building, moving on its foundations.
Oh my God.
I could hear all the car alarms go off. I could see all these light stanchions going back and forth. But the thing I remember the most, you guys, is that I saw waves in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then I went, I feel like I'm on drugs. And then I went, when it stopped after 15 seconds, I went, oh, shoot, I'm in charge. And I ran back in. And people were just having dinner right then. They were having dinner. So people were on the floor. There was food all over the place in the kitchen. And I said, let's get everybody out of here. Let's start getting everybody out of here. So we'd had fire drills a number of times, so people knew what to do. They got out. Nobody got hurt.
Yay.
147 seniors, nobody was hurt. A couple people were having heart attacks, and they got thrown. People across the street, employees came across the street. They threw them in their private cars because nobody was going to get an ambulance. And they threw them in their cars, and they took them to Dominican Hospital. So proud of our staff. I remember, I'm in charge. I'm like, somebody's got to go make a bathroom. I'm sure somebody's got to go. So I said, go get a couple buckets, get some toilet paper, go outside, find a place that we can make a toilet for people. We grabbed food, we fed people outside. It stayed at the Carousel Beach Inn, which is right over there, that white building, the 3-story building. They stayed in the parking lot. People came to get their family members. And they were so busy downtown, dealing with the downtown falling apart, they didn't pay attention to us. 3 weeks later, they said, you're red tagged. Get all your stuff out of here. But they were telling us they were going to do that, so we started moving people's stuff out ahead of time. So if seniors didn't have anybody to help them move stuff out of their rooms, our staff helped them. Wow. I felt really proud, and for 2 months, our staff fed and housed seniors in the Carousel Beach Inn for 2 months until they could find places to live, and Adult Protective Services helped us try to find places for people to live. They went to Sunshine Villa, they went out of the area, they went out of state. It was a big deal, but again, it was a moment I felt really proud of our staff for just jumping there and helping out. It was a very cool thing. All right, I'm going to show you one of my favorite pictures up here. It's a silly reason why it's my favorite picture, but I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
So we were talking about Miss California, that Miss California pageant was here for years and years. Come on over here, you guys. The Miss California pageant was here for years and years. Its heyday, I think, was probably the 50s. This is in 1955. They had 36,000 people come to the Miss California pageant. Probably about the same amount as James Dermott. But, but who remembers the pleasure pier? Remember the pleasure pier?
Yeah.
So the only reason why it really existed was to bring salt water into the pool.
Right, for the plunge.
That was it. So they every day they had new fresh water. I was talking to the president, Charles Canfield, about that pool. Anybody know Charles? Yeah. So I was talking about the pool. He said he went in it like 3 times in his life. He goes, Tish, I can't do a good impersonation of him. He goes, Tish, I hated that pool. It was like 86 degrees. 86 degrees, and there was all the chlorine. It hurt my eyes. My eyes were red. I never really went into it. And he could go anytime he wanted to. But he didn't like that pool. You can see the bandstand. Now it's kind of right over here, but in those days it was right there. But I'll tell you my favorite reason why I like this this picture. You know how we have all these signs saying all the things you can't do now? You can't bring your dogs here. You can't drink alcohol. You can't smoking.
No fires.
No fires. There's but there was only one thing in 1955 they didn't want you to do. I'm going to read the sign to you.
No swimming.
It says positively, no ball playing on this beach. Don't you dare play ball here.
Did that include beach ball?
Oh, that's funny.
Is that hilarious?
Yeah.
I mean, we have all these signs now. They didn't care if you got drunk or anything. You better not be playing ball here.
They used to shoot the fireworks off of there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. There's another picture of the Miss California in the Suntan Special, which brought people over from San Jose. My mom and my grandparents used to come over from San Jose on that train.
That's when they had it through the Santa Cruz Mountains?
When they had it through the Santa Cruz
Underground
Mountains, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to have a train?
It
that goes
would.
there again?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. My mom, I think it's probably in
Well,
85 or so, the Roaring Camp train, we did a deal with them.
I used to bring my class down here on that train.
So my mom had not been on a train on that track since like the 30s or something like that. And she got on that train and she was so happy. Yeah, it was a cool
It's a
thing for her.
great ride
Yeah,
down here.
yeah, well, it
Did
looked
she,
forward.
so she did the Roaring Camp one?
She did, we went to Roaring Camp, but she had not been on that particular train track forever,
Okay.
for a really long time, so. We're gonna go downstairs, and the next thing I'm gonna show you is, we're gonna go inside the Merry-Go-Round.
What happened at the Great Big Flood of '82, when there was seaweed in front of the boardwalk?
Let me think about it. I was around for that.
Yeah. I
Um,
remember the seaweed.
I can't remember that we had too much damage, we had a lot more damage than the quake. So we're gonna go downstairs.
A lot of people, right down to the water line.